Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So here I have another pen for review, and this pen is a Narwhal pen. Now Narwhal, as I understand it, is a company based in the US, and they are based in Illinois in the US. The brand started in 2019 and it debuted in the DC Pen Show in August 2019. They have technicians and engineers within the company with 20 plus years of experience, and they have a number of pen models, and this is one of them. So this was provided to me on loan for review from Derek at Stonecott Fine Writing Supplies Limited in the UK. So I'd like to thank Derek for providing me this pen for review. So let's open this box. So first off, the box here you will see is a white box with the logo there, Narwhal, and Narwhal there as well. So if I lift the lid on this box, you will see it comes in a little baggie or bag, and then you have this foam insert, and then you have the pen. And this is the pen. This is the Narwhal Original, and this is in the green. And these are sort of a ribbon sort of pen that I actually quite like the look of. I have seen other pens like this in the Pen BBS range, and these are fairly sort of inexpensive pens. And when I say inexpensive, they're around about $50 US and around about £50 in the UK. But these do actually seem to be quite nice pens. This is a piston filling pen. Now you can see here it does actually have this metal finial here, although it doesn't really have anything on it. And then you have this clip, and you can see there it's a little bit of an arrowhead of a clip, and it's quite stiff, but it is functional. The pen tapers out a little bit to really where the clip is here and to where the cap band is, and then you have this band here, and this actually says Narwhal on it as well, so you can see that there. And then the rest of the body starts to taper back out again to this ring here, and then you've got the piston filling knob. So let me unscrew the cap. You will also see here there is a nib, and this is a steel nib, and this is a Narwhal nib, and you can see the Narwhal logo laser etched onto that nib. Now Narwhal do actually say on their website that they actually make all of their nibs in-house. I'm not sure if that is the case or not. Certainly their website says so, but that pattern reminds me of the Schmidt nib pattern, so it may just be that the nib is fine-tuned and laser etched or laser engraved from their website or from their company. You have an ABS plastic feed there, but I will obviously go with what Narwhal are telling myself and everybody else, and that is that they make these nibs in-house. So this is quite a fine nib. Now if I sort of bring it up a little bit closer, you can see there that laser etching going on that nib, and this is actually quite a fine nib, I would say. But look at the nib there, you can see the amount of tipping on that nib. You can see the material is actually quite nice. There's a lot of chatoyance going on there in that green, and then you have these lovely sort of black swirl patterns going on, and again that sort of is a lot of chatoyance going on in that body there. And if I move the piston, you can see the piston moving, and you take it all the way down to the bottom, and then you can bring it back up again. So this is a piston filling pen, it's not a cartridge converter. Now in the size of my hand, this is actually quite a nice size. It's actually a very light pen as well. So for me, I'm not normally a fan of super light pens, but I know a lot of people that you watch my videos are very interested in lightweight pens. If I try to post the cap, you can post it, but it doesn't really post secure. It won't fit on there because of this metal band, and I wouldn't want to try and push it and it doesn't screw into place either. And I think maybe part of that is because obviously this is a piston filling knob here, so you do have to be a little bit careful there, because if you were to post the pen, then what would happen, if I just change hands here, is that you could actually, and this has happened on TWSBI before, where you can start pulling the cap off, but you twist it and it would then start to eject ink out. So I think this probably was designed not to be posted, and it doesn't actually really fit on there securely, and I'm fine with that because I don't normally post my pens or post my caps at all. But this is actually quite a nice material. I do like this, and it does come in a number of different colours. This is the green version. The body is all integrated here, and obviously you've got that sort of band there which looked as though it was part of the cap, but it's not. It's actually the band on the body, and it is plastic on plastic threads that you can see here as well, which also is something that I normally prefer in a pen. So I think let's do a size check, we'll do a weight check, we'll do a pen comparison, we'll ink the pen up, and then we'll do a writing sample. So the length of the pen, we are looking at about 145 millimeters in length. The length of the cap, we're looking at, I would say, a spot on 60 millimeters. And then we'll take a look at the full length from the tip of the nib or the tip of the tines. We are looking at about 132 millimeters in length. So this pen is uninked. So the full weight of the pen is 24.5 grams. The weight of the cap, we are looking at just under 11.5 grams. And then the weight of the body, we are looking at just under 11.5 grams. So this is a very light pen. But this really is a pen that actually looks quite nice. Now, I thought I'd actually seen this pen before, and I have a couple of pen BBSs. Now, this is a cartridge version. So this is the 309 version. Now, although they look similar, they're not actually the same. The piston knobs are very different, or the blind cap here is very different. Obviously, this isn't a piston, and then also obviously the cap frenulars here are very different. I also have a 309 inked up, which is the piston version, and I can show that here as well. But you'll see also that the design is actually quite different again. So the 309 here is actually quite rounded, tapered off cigar, and it's also a very much thinner pen as well. But I thought I would just show those for comparison. But I'm actually really liking the look of this pen. I do like these sort of semi-opaque demonstrators, especially the ones with the ribbons in. This doesn't actually have a lot of depth to these ribbons. It's more chatoyance going on there compared to, say, maybe the Pen BBS, which has a lot more depth there on those ribbons. So, but I still think it's quite a nice pen as well. So I think let's do a comparison again with some other pens. From left to right, we have the TWSBI Mini AL. We have the TWSBI Diamond 580 AL. We have a TWSBI VAC 700R. We have a Pelikan M600, and this is the turquoise white. We have a Pelikan M805 Ocean Swirl. We have the Narwhal Original. We have a Pen BBS 308, a Pen BBS 309. We have a Leonardo Officina Italiana Momento Zero in the Hawaii, and we have a John Twiss Volcano. So I'm going to ink this up today with Lamy Green. So let's open the bottle. Now this is a piston filling pen, so it's not a cartridge converter, and I'm not going to fill it all the way up. I'm just going to fill it a little bit. So I'll put a pen in there and I will just suck up a bit of ink. Do it again. So let's just wipe this off a bit. You can see there my multicolour kitchen roll there that I wipe my nibs off with. And there you can see there's a little bit of ink in there, and that's sloshing around a little bit. So the piston here, I've not pulled it all the way back, but you can probably see the ink sloshing around a little bit there. So let's get some paper. So this is the Narwhal, and this is classed as the original. And currently there are only two models in the Narwhal collection. Now this is really a fine nib, I would say, although it writes a little bit more like a medium. I'm going to put it as a fine myself, but I'm going to put a medium because there is a little bit of line variation, and you'll see this a little bit more in a moment. And it's a steel nib. And then the ink in here today is Lamy Green. Now, in terms of line variation, so this I would say is more of a fine nib because of that line sort of that it's putting down. Now, it's a steel nib, but you can push steel nibs a little bit. So I'm going to try and push it a little bit more, and you can get quite a bit of line variation coming out of this nib. And you'll see this here. So you can push this nib a little bit more, and it will give you that line variation that you want. Now, in terms of wetness, let's have a look. And then we'll do a vertical pass. Now, the vertical pass, I would say, looks, or the vertical letters, a little bit more wetter. Although actually it's coming out about the same. So let me try just once more. If I push a little bit harder, you'll probably see a little bit more. There you go. So you can get it to write more wetter. So there is give in that nib, and it is a steel nib. And strangely enough, there are no wing cutouts on that nib either. So how do I find it right? I find it actually writes quite smooth. I'm a little bit surprised actually, and I know this is something that Derek had said to me, that these nibs are quite smooth. So whether or not these nibs are actually made in-house by Narwhal, or if they are just regular Schmidt nibs and then laser etched, they are very smooth. So for me, what do I like? What do I not like about the pen? Well, I like the price point. The price point, $50 or £50. I think that's actually pretty good. I also like that it's a piston filling pen as well. I like there's a lot of chatoyance going in there, the material, and although it's a very lightweight pen, it doesn't feel cheap either. So for me, does this compare with maybe a TWSBI Eco? I think it probably does. The price point, I think, for the pen is about right, and I think it's actually quite a good pen. I'd like to thank Derek from Stonecott Fine Writing Supplies Limited in the UK for loaning me this pen for review. You can go and check Derek out on stonecottfinewritingsupplies.com, or also Stonecott Fine Writing on Instagram. So if you need to reach out to Derek, please feel free to do so. So there you have it. That's my review of the Narwhal Original. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.